Miraculous diet hidden for over 2,000 years. Biblical diet. To discover that there is a biblical diet, almost a secret, I researched many books in Hebrew and Aramaic to bring you this content. This is because when God created humans, He intended for us to live a healthy life. Nowadays, everyone knows that one of the biggest factors affecting our health is nutrition. So how could God not reveal this knowledge to us? What I'm going to share with you now are 11 foods the Bible surprisingly presents to us. I'll also share scientific proof of the benefits these foods bring to our health. Of course, humans have both a soul and a body. God cares not only about our spiritual well-being, but also about our physical health. So let's look at the list of 11 surprising biblical foods that can improve your health. First food. It appears in the book of Ezekiel, where a recipe for bread made from sprouted grains is described. The verse says, "Take wheat, barley, beans, lentils, millet, and spelt. Put them into a storage jar and use them to make bread for yourself." Interestingly, the Bible also mentions a special bread consumed in the temple by priests, as well as the unleavened bread used in Jewish festivals. But here, God instructs Ezekiel to make a bread with long-lasting health benefits. Surprisingly, science confirms that this bread is unmatched. It's called Ezekiel bread, and it's considered a complete protein because it contains all essential amino acids. The reason it's healthier than other breads is that the grains and legumes God commands to use are sprouted and germinated, making digestion much easier. The sprouted grains are no coincidence. When a seed begins to germinate, before it becomes a full-grown plant, this is a critical growth phase. The young sprout digests some of its starch to feed its growth, which increases vital nutrients like proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Studies also show this process makes minerals like zinc and iron more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb them better. Second food. The pomegranate. In the book of Deuteronomy, God promises the Israelites a land flowing with streams and full of wheat, barley, vines, fig trees, and pomegranates. Pomegranates are known today for their amazing health properties. A personal story. One of my students, a top nutritionist in South America, once advised me, "Rabino, if you want to be very healthy, eat pomegranates and drink pomegranate juice in the land of Israel. You have no idea how blessed your health will be." I've followed that advice ever since. Science backs this up. Pomegranates contain anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-obesity, and anti-cancer substances. They're rich in compounds like ellagic acid, flavonoids, and other powerful nutrients that combat chronic diseases such as cancer, insulin resistance, intestinal inflammation, and obesity. Third food. Olives and olive oil. Often people only think about olive oil, but the biblical diet highlights both olives and the oil. Deuteronomy again promises a good land full of olives, emphasizing their importance. Back then, olives and olive oil were highly valued, not only as food but for healing, cooking, lighting lamps, making soaps, and even cosmetics. Olive oil was so precious it was used as currency. The Messiah, Jesus, is even called the Anointed One, meaning the one anointed with oil. Scientifically, consuming olives and especially extra virgin olive oil benefits the heart, brain, skin, and joints. They're linked to reduced risk of cancer and diabetes. This is no coincidence. God repeatedly highlights these blessings in the Bible. Fourth food. Pure honey. Naturally, it's important to consume real unprocessed honey. Honey is mentioned throughout the Bible as a symbol of abundance and health. Scientific studies confirm honey's antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant properties, making it excellent for healing wounds, soothing coughs, and boosting the immune system. Fifth food. Fish. The Bible often references fish as a staple food, especially around the Sea of Galilee. Fish is an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids, which support heart health, brain function, and reduce inflammation. The miracle of the loaves and fishes not only shows God's provision, but also points to fish as a healthy, sustaining food. Sixth food. Figs. Another fruit frequently mentioned, figs are rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They help with digestion, lower blood sugar levels, and contain antioxidants. The Bible often uses figs as symbols of prosperity and peace, but they also have real, tangible health benefits. Seventh food. Barley. Barley was a common grain in biblical times, often used in bread and porridge. It's high in fiber, helps lower cholesterol, and stabilizes blood sugar. Barley also appears in stories like the offering of barley to the poor, showing it was a vital, nourishing food. Eighth food, wheat. Wheat is foundational in biblical diets and is rich in nutrients, fiber, and energy. Whole wheat supports digestion and heart health, and its prominence in Scripture underlines its importance as sustenance. Ninth food, lentils. Lentils are a great source of protein and fiber, essential for a balanced diet. In the Bible, lentils appear in the story of Esau selling his birthright for a bowl of lentil stew, showing their everyday significance. Tenth food, beans. Beans provide protein, vitamins, and minerals. They were widely consumed and valued for their ability to nourish and sustain people, supporting overall health. 11th food, millet. Millet is a nutritious grain packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. It is easy to digest and was part of the diet described in Ezekiel's bread recipe, again showing God's provision for our health. Summary. These 11 biblical foods, sprouted grain bread, pomegranate, olives and olive oil, honey, goat's milk, grapes, wine, lamb, vegetables, figs, dates, barley, lentils, and clean fish, were more than ancient staples, manifest God's design for human health. Each food comes with spiritual symbolism and literal nutritional benefit. While honoring the spiritual richness of these foods, consult your healthcare provider for personal dietary guidance. When consumed in their natural biblical purity, these foods truly reflect divine wisdom for body and soul. So, by embracing this ancient biblical diet, you're not just honoring tradition, you're embracing a healthier, more vibrant life designed by the Creator Himself. If you felt connected to this inspiring story, don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to learn about the biblical diet. Turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and leave a like. We'll see you in the next video with more inspiring stories like this one.